Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Memo. And this time, we are finally back together in person. The past 2 months, we've been doing it over Zoom. But now we actually, we feel safe getting close to each other and finally getting the podcast back to the way it was. And hopefully getting it back to being as consistent as it was, because we've been failing you, the fans, and we've been failing ourselves on the content front, I believe. I don't know what these two guys think to my left and right, but we're back. The NBA playoffs are back, and we're going to talk all about it today. So, Matt and Alex, how we doing?
I'm good. Managing through the pandemic. Happy to have you guys back here in my haunts.
What?
Haunts.
Is that what's that word?
It's like stomping grounds. Synonym for.
Have you heard that word before?
I heard Barack Obama say it on a podcast yesterday. So I haven't known it for very long.
What podcast was he
couldn't
on?
wait to use it.
It was, I just couldn't wait. I actually, when he said it, I was like, I'm going to use that one time. And
Haunts?
Perfect time, yeah.
Like haunted? Haunts you? Somebody
That's
haunts
how it's
you?
spelled, yeah. I don't know if it has anything to do with being haunted. But he was on a podcast, it was while he was president.
Oh, so it's old.
Yeah, it was old. I don't know why.
It was part of my take?
No.
Obviously.
It is
funny, though.
Yeah,
A
read
place-
the definition.
a place frequented by a specific person or group of people. I revisited my old haunts.
All right.
So
Pretty cool. You should
this
keep
is
saying
my-
it. Maybe it'll
I
catch on.
don't like it.
this is my current haunt.
It's your apartment.
All right. Well, happy to have you guys back in my apartment, besides Matt, because he's annoying.
Wow.
But
they're really playing well here, the Mavericks.
So,
should I finish? Should I wrap up my thought?
yeah, wrap up your thought.
I said what I had to say. Go on.
Yeah, it's
So-
good to be back together. It's been definitely probably more than 2 months that we have
Oh,
been
yeah.
on Zoom.
Yeah. I don't know why I said 2 months.
More
Probably.
like 5.
Yeah,
4 or
almost
5.
4 or 5 months now. Like you said, the content was lacking a little bit. Obviously, it was difficult for us to find things to talk about at some points with no sports for 4 months almost. But
Richard clearly didn't take the time to learn how to count.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
mean,
think it's
Richard
been
thinks it's
been
August.
a few weeks.
Oh. It is August.
Off to a hot start
Yeah.
here.
Hey, we're rusty. It's been a little bit of time. But, yeah, sports are back. Baseball, hockey, and basketball are all going on right now.
Football's in training camp at the moment.
Football's coming right around the corner. It doesn't feel like it because there's obviously no preseason games, but week 1 will be here before we know it.
Like the 13th of September, I believe that's when the Jets play their first game, which is it's weird because the training camp hasn't been going on that long at all. So like the preseason games would be like starting now basically already.
Yeah.
So it's just they're gonna have a month of practice and then right into the games, as I'm sure everybody knows.
Just feels like the last few months has been like a time warp.
Yeah. But sports life is great right now. You wake up, there's 4 basketball games on every day, 4 hockey games, full slate of baseball.
Yeah.
Like, this is perfect, especially when there's nothing else for me to do. I still don't have a job, so I don't do anything all day. I just sit back, watch. I've got all the streaming sites up, watching all different sorts of sporting events. It's a sports heaven right now, honestly.
Yeah, and I'm working from home, so it's nice to have the games on like while working, have like a little something to watch while working. So
Definitely.
life is good right now, aside from the illness.
Yeah, I definitely sat in my living room all day today, just on my laptop, had the game on the TV. I would pull my Switch out and play a game of Smash. I also don't have a job yet, so me and Matt are in the same boat. But, now that I'm not an MLB fan, as if anyone watches knows, so the NBA being back has been a big, big highlight in my life now.
Definitely boosted my my morale.
Yeah, for sure.
Shit has been like hard
Uh-huh.
for everyone.
And honestly, speaking about basketball specifically, the way that the bubble has gone on so far, I think it's exceeding everyone's expectations. The games are great. Like, the atmosphere, for not having fans and for being in a small gym like that, it still feels like they're important games.
Mhm.
It gets loud in the stadium with all the fake shit that they have going on there.
Yeah.
And no one is testing positive for coronavirus, which is obviously the most important thing, and everything's been going smoothly.
It's really a nice feeling anytime you get that update from whoever it is, like Woj or Shams, and it's like, after this week's coronavirus test, there are 0 positives in the NBA bubble. It's just like,
It's being executed perfectly.
Nice.
It is working.
But
Can't say the same for baseball.
they struggled.
Cardinals have played, 6 games?
Yeah. I think they're up to 8 now. They had 16 straight games postponed. The Marlins had to deal with it for a little bit. Now the Reds, I think, are getting some games postponed, which really just goes to show you the effectiveness of the bubble for NHL and the NBA. And understand it's a little bit different for baseball, having to start the season, play the regular season. Doing that in a bubble might not have been as realistic or as easy logistically.
Yeah.
But you can see, obviously, the difference between bubble and no bubble, why the NBA has been able to have the success that they have so far.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of people are probably nervous about the NFL being able to play a full season, because if an MLB team, if it could spread so quickly amongst them, where the sport is naturally socially distant, if an NFL team gets a spread like that, how do you can't postpone the games?
Yeah,
No.
everyone's getting it if you get it on an NFL
You can't play
team.
like a doubleheader for football or
exactly.
anything like that.
So
And the thing is with baseball is that you've had these outbreaks with the Marlins and the Cardinals, but it's been only that team, like the opponents that they had played didn't test positive because, like you said, it's socially distanced, the nature of the game. In football, you're going to be spreading it to everyone on the field.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
like, it's not just going to be a one-team situation. It's going to go to both sidelines.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just got to hope the players can be smart, and we've already seen some people be absolutely stupid, like that I believe he's an undrafted rookie on the Seahawks who tried to dress a girl up as a player and bring her to the team hotel. Like,
what a moron. King.
You just you had the opportunity of a lifetime, and you
Couldn't resist.
You just have, like, it's not even
Yeah.
and like the way you're trying to hide it is just like absolutely disrespectful. Like,
It's so
It's like
that's
What
putting
was
her in
what
a
was she
disguise or
dressed in?
I think she was just wearing Seahawks gear, like shirt and
like a
hat.
sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Gotta respect the effort.
yeah, I mean,
No. You're an undrafted free agent in a
I'm
season
joking.
with I know. Just speaking to this guy, in a season with no preseason games, like every
yeah,
single
he's
time
fucked.
you're on the field, like you have to make an impact, and that's what you do. It's really
it's a shame. It's
Did
really,
you see what was going on with the Indians pitchers too?
Yeah. They
Zach
got like
Plesac and
excommunicated
Mike
from the
Mike
team.
Clevenger, yeah, fucking idiots.
I saw that Oliver Perez would refuse to play if they came. I can't believe he's still in the league.
I know, right? He's been in the league since what, 2000?
So fucking long, yo. He's been in the league forever. He
I thought
must
it was
have
a
made his debut
different-
in like 2002.
I thought it was a different Oliver Perez at first.
No, he still plays, and he's like
He's 39.
he hasn't. It's not like he's that good. I guess he's serviceable.
Still?
what does he play?
He's a
He's a
pitcher. He
pitcher.
was like on the Mets when they
Ooh.
made their run in like 2006.
He debuted in 2002.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah, those two pitchers are real dumb. You saw Clevenger didn't even admit that he went out there, like, because they both went out one night, and then the one guy, Zach Plesac, got caught because he came home past curfew, and like the security guards there noticed. Clevenger didn't get caught because he didn't come home; he just stayed out somewhere, and then Plesac got in trouble, and then it like came out somehow that Clevenger was also there. So Clevenger just came back, returned to the team, acted like he saw his boy get suspended, and he just acted like nothing happened until it came out.
Yeah.
And there's two pitchers. Carlos Carrasco, a starting pitcher on the Indians, he's a cancer survivor, and somebody else I think has like a compromised immune system on the team. It's ridiculous.
They just don't care about anyone
Zero
else.
accountability.
really
for
stupid.
anything.
So,
The Indians did the right thing. They punished them pretty hard.
Yeah, they sent them down.
Sent them down to the minors, and supposedly it's going to have an effect on their service time and shit. So
Yeah.
they might not get paid
Yeah.
this season.
Rightfully
they don't
so. You're
deserve
gonna
to be
fucking-
paid if they're not going to take it seriously and put other people in danger like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, the MLB rocky start. We'll see what happens with the NFL. NHL's going strong, NBA's going strong, and that's really what we're going to talk about today, the NBA. And the first round of the playoffs just started today. We've already had 3 games completed. The first game, what was it? It was
The Nuggets
excellent.
won.
Nuggets beat the Utah Jazz in overtime, and then you had the Nets get clobbered by the Toronto Raptors. The Celtics just beat the 76ers. Pretty close game, but, it looked like the Celtics pretty much had it in hand at the end. And now we're currently watching the Clippers play the Mavericks, where it started off like 18-2, and now it's 22-18 LA. So we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, we're going to talk about those games so far, and we're going to talk about the rest of the first round, how we think it's going to go, who we're picking, the matchups we like.
Yeah.
So I guess you want to talk about the games that happened today already and give a little.
Yeah. Well, just I'll say as an overview, the two different conferences right now. I mean, you have the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs does not seem too exciting. Obviously, Bucks Magic, I'd be shocked if the Magic take a game.
Yeah.
Raptors Nets, same kind of thing. The Nets made it close for a minute there in the late third, early fourth, but then obviously the Raptors just have too much firepower and experience. And then so you have Celtics Sixers, which I think will be a decent series. And what was the other one? It's Heat Pacers.
Yes.
I mean, it's a 4-5 matchup, but I don't think is anyone taking the Pacers too seriously. The Heat are a way better team.
I mean, they don't have.
I don't know about that. I think they're both like four or five teams, like middle of the pack. I think they can both give each other a run for their money, and they've just been playing each other so much. Like they're gonna. I think it'll probably go a long way, but we can get into that when we get there.
Yeah, but the point is, and even that matchup, if it might be competitive, it's not very enticing. Heat Pacers. Then you look at the West. I think every matchup there's plenty of interesting points to look at. Obviously, what's going on with Lillard. Then I think the Thunder Rockets series is going to be very good. Just the history that those guys have together. Yeah. Westbrook will miss a game or two, which is obviously big for the Thunder. I could see that being a long series. And as we saw today, which we can start with that game, Jazz and Nuggets. That's going to be a competitive series. Two really good teams.
Yeah,
that game was. That game was crazy, and it looked like. Sorry.
That was one of the best games I've watched in a long time. Mm-hmm. Mitchell obviously just went the fuck off. He dropped the third most points in NBA playoffs history. Murray was hitting clutch shots down the stretch. They were going back and forth. That was right off the bat just an incredible game. It was so fun to watch. Nuggets are a good team, man.
Yeah,
they have a lot of guys that contribute a lot.
They do, and like you said, it was really cool seeing Mitchell and Murray, like two young upcoming guards, just going at it back and forth. There was a point where it was just them two scoring,
right?
Nobody else. Jokic obviously played really well, and this is what sucks for Donovan Mitchell and the rest of the Jazz. He dropped 57, and they lose. It almost reminded me of when the Cavs and the Warriors and LeBron, absolutely goes off, and then the team just can't do anything. It goes to overtime. Better team pulls away, and then I'm not expecting it to. I think the Nuggets are a much better team.
Me too.
Mitchell's not going to drop 57 every game.
No.
So we'll see. I mean, maybe they could make it a good series, but it's a shame that such a great game goes to waste because everyone around him just can't contribute as much. Like Gobert's not he's a great defender. He had a great contest on the last shot of regulation against Jokic, but he's not giving them much on offense. Like Clarkson, not going to give you much.
Losing Bogdanovic, he had a season-ending surgery. That hurts. That was like a big scoring wing for them. And Connolly left the bubble for the birth of his child. So they were a little shorthanded, but Bogdanovic is not coming back, and Connolly will miss at least the next game, or probably the next two games.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be the Mitchell show for a while there. And then that combination of Murray and Jokic, like when they're clicking and Murray's got his shot going, that is a very good 1-2 punch.
Yeah. He's got a beautiful shot.
Yeah. He can really he shoots it really quickly too. He's got that quick release, so he's very dangerous from outside.
Yeah, and they're both unselfish players, and they run that pick and roll like really well, and it's never like one of them forcing a tough shot. Like they're always looking for the other one, and they're going to be a dominant 1-2 punch for years to come.
Murray's got to become more consistent because he has these spurts where he goes off like that, but he's kind of streaky right now still.
Yeah.
I mean, statistically, I know stats aren't everything, but the past few years he's kind of hovered around the same points per game, like 18, 19. hasn't really broken into that, like, consistent 20-point per game scorer, which I think he would need to become for them to really become like a dominant duo. I think he has the potential, but like you said, consistency is key, and he's young. Maybe he'll figure it out.
9 assists also.
But watching him today was awesome.
Yeah.
You hate him, don't you?
I don't like him. Well, not it's not as big of a thing anymore. When he had beef with the Lakers and Lonzo and all that, I was more against him. But now, it's not really there. So, but yeah, I mean, and it was weird because he was like 7 for 12 at a point, and I was like, this guy needs to shoot more. And then he just hit
it just went
like
off.
8 shots in a row, like scored 10, 12 straight, whatever it was.
Yeah, I was watching it on the golf course, and I was like, it was going back and forth like crazy, and I couldn't even like put my phone down. I was getting yelled at from like everyone that I was with, and like the people behind me were like creeping up on us and shit. And I was just like, I can't stop watching this game. It was so good.
It was a great way to start with a bang. But
and watch out, Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah,
he's good.
Forgot about him.
He's real good.
He's
if he can,
well.
Be consistent, like 20-point scorer for them, like that is a great trio they have there.
I'm sure he'll hit his bumps in this playoffs just because he's really a rookie. I mean, right? He hasn't really played up until now, so
Playoff basketball is just such a different sport.
Bol didn't get in the game.
Yeah.
Hate to see that.
I've heard enough about Bol.
Yeah.
Barely plays, but they also have Millsap
He's
still.
just getting started.
He's just getting started, but he's not like a difference maker.
I mean, he's also behind, a top 5 center in the league.
Yeah,
so
but
there's not much
I'm
room for him.
I'm hearing some of our friends talk about Bol like he makes the Nuggets a threat. He barely plays.
Who likes him?
Kornfeld.
He does. He does like.
He's
him
like
that?
Bol. This guy's good. I'm like, he plays 10 minutes a game.
Gives
Not
you
to-
everything for those
not
10
to-
minutes, though.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
we
They're
kind
a
of
deep squad. I'm gonna disagree with Matt here on that being a good series. I think the Nuggets are gonna take it in 5 at most. I'm excited to see what the Nuggets do after this.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it'll be that competitive. Maybe, we'll have some competitive games, but I don't think the series overall will end up looking competitive. And when it's done, maybe a sweep, but probably 5, 6 is pushing it for me, especially with all these guys out for
That's
now. So.
Just
The thing with the playoffs now is like at least for me, like I think about like predicting what the series score is going to be, and I'm like, oh, this team will probably take one at home. Not a thing
that's
anymore.
Big. Yeah, that's very big.
It's huge.
There's no advantage at all to the
Yeah.
home court. But I don't know. I feel like
Especially for the Jazz. One of
that
the
was
best
they
home
were
teams.
they were one of the best. The Sixers too. That's going to be a struggle for them. But I think the problem that I have with the Nuggets is they have great games like this, but they're not that consistent of a team night in and night out. They're the 3 seed in the West, which is very impressive. Obviously, they had a great year. They've been up at the top of the Western Conference for the past couple seasons now. But I like Jamal Murray, but like I was saying before, he doesn't do what he did today every single game. So if Mitchell can continue to play like he's playing to a more realistic degree, not 57 points a game, but I don't think that the Nuggets are like an unbeatable team where the Jazz, because they're a great defensive team, like they can keep them the game's close, and then at the end, whatever's going to happen.
Yeah.
Versus Murray again.
Yeah, you're right about that. I think the Nuggets, they predicate themselves on sharing the ball, like ball movement, stuff like that, and it kind of like that works to an extent. Like nobody's like the Spurs anymore, that they just like facilitate it all around, get like a good open shot, and just dominate that way. But today's NBA is all superstars, guys like Mitchell and like Lillard scoring 60 points in a game could like torpedo your whole series if one of those guys gets hot. And
Murray's going to have to be consistently balling out like this every game for them to like be a serious threat in the West. And they're going to play the winner of the Clippers-Mavs series, which is probably, we all think the Clippers. That could be a good series, but again, like I just don't think the Nuggets are there yet. And they're really young too. Like how old is Murray?
25 maybe. 20. He's young.
26.
26 maybe. Yeah. Like you were saying about the style of play in that's
23.
23.
What?
Wow. It feels like he's been in the league so long.
That's crazy.
But that style of play that can make you, a a top seeded team in
Right.
the playoffs. But once you get to the playoffs where you're playing every team, that's great. You need that star towards the end of games to get you a bucket
Exactly.
to win the game for you. And I think Jokic or Murray can have that moment, but
Yeah, it remains to be seen.
yeah. But yeah,
I'd like to see Jokic be that guy instead of Murray, honestly, because he is the number one guy on that team, and he's shown before, like in those span of games where Murray was hurt, like he was able to take over games and be clutch down the stretch and will the team to victory
yeah.
when he had to be. So it'd be cool to see that in the playoffs, but remains to be seen.
Definitely. All right. Well, as you can see, the camera setup is a little different now. We had a little malfunction. We tried going back to the old format with the three cameras, and we're going to have to figure something else out for next time. But we still got a lot to talk about. So the next game that was on our list is the Nets and the Raptors played today, and credit to the Nets. They put in a lot of effort. They're down pretty much every important player, and they were getting blown out the whole game until the third quarter. They started to rally. They were down 33. They brought it to within 9, and then the Raptors just pulled away again in the fourth. This series will probably be a sweep. I really can't imagine the Nets taking one from them. They have a lot of talented young guys like LeVert, Allen. Who's the other guy they have that has been playing well for them? What's his name?
Chioza.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Kevin Durant. Whatever. They have some guys, who show some promise for when
Yeah,
they get guys
Spencer
like
Dinwiddie.
he's not there. He opted out. For when
Really?
Durant and Kyrie come back.
I
But
thought he was talking about putting like the fucking. Didn't he put like 3 trillion debt on the back of his jersey or some shit? Remember, he was the one who was doing that.
Is that him?
Yeah, I think it was Dinwiddie.
well, maybe they didn't let him put that, so he opted out.
It was him. Because
He
He's all
hasn't-
talk.
he's an interesting fellow.
What do you
He's the-
realize?
doesn't he have one of those like stock contracts?
He
like, you can
wants to
buy?
do that, and
I literally created that idea. First of all,
it's a very interesting idea.
it's a cool idea.
What's that?
It's like you can like. I think the concept is like a player's contract is like a stock, and you can like buy in like at a certain price, and then it can like go up and down in value. You can like trade it and shit.
I can buy his contract.
That's the concept. I don't
That's
know.
what
You
he
can
wants to do with his contract.
I don't get that at all. What? How does the value
I don't
go
get
up?
it because
It goes up and down based on like his value as a player,
But what sets the value?
the market.
But why would it
How is
go?
there's not just a running tab of his value to the team?
That's what he would want. He would want it to be like a tradable thing.
It would have
you
to
can
be.
buy
For,
like
it would have
one
to be a
share
whole
of
system.
Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah, no, it's like an interesting concept. I don't understand
Wouldn't
how
every
because
contract have to be like that for it to work? There have to be a
There'd have
system
to
that
be-
sets
yeah.
value.
Yeah, there'd have to be like a market.
That's weird.
But I think he's trying to like start the trend.
I
which
think it'd be cool.
I think it'd be cool.
like if you could
I
just
don't know
buy stock of LeBron.
I don't know all the specifics, so I don't know if it's a realistic thing, but
So I would get paid more if he does well.
yeah. Or
That's
like
weird.
yeah.
But wouldn't that mean his contract is just fluctuating? Like teams
Yes.
when teams wouldn't they want it to be a set number?
No, cuz like the flip side is like if he's not as good, you don't have to pay him as much.
What if every player on your team overachieves and then you go over the salary cap?
It's
You got a budget.
You'd have to change the entire system of
Yeah, yeah.
how things work.
probably won't happen. But hey,
I gotta,
Crazier
I gotta
things
read
have
more
happened.
about that. Sounds interesting.
all right.
It
So
is interesting.
in
But
terms
he's
of
a
the
fraud and opted out.
in terms of
No,
the
I'm kidding.
series,
I don't-
do
I
you guys have a
respect
lot
it.
to say?
No.
I want to say that Fred VanVleet isn't amazing.
Yeah,
He's a
good.
playoff king. He really steps up big time.
his
Yeah.
shot is amazing. He's got good moves to the basket. He's a free agent at the end of this year, so
There's
People gotta
definitely
start
not much
talking
to
about
talk
the
about.
Raptors more in general in the East.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think
they're-
anyone's really taken them lightly.
I hear Bucks. People love to think the Celtics are going.
I feel like they're
The Heat get a lot of
I feel
love
like they're
now
a team
'cause-
that people want to say everyone's taking them lightly, but everywhere you look, everyone's like, I'm scared of the Raptors. Like they play
Yeah.
great defense. They had, disciplined team, good scores.
championship pedigree, man.
Yeah, I mean they haven't missed a beat when they lost Kawhi. I'm not like obviously they'd be better with Kawhi, but they
I think
picked up
they,
right where they left off.
Yeah, I think they ended up with a better winning percentage this year than they did last year, which is crazy. Even
Yes,
though they had
yeah.
less games.
Siakam has like grown into a great
Winning
player.
percentages.
Van Vliet.
Yeah.
They still have Gasol. I mean, Ibaka comes off the bench now. Wasn't he a starter for them last year?
I'm not sure if him or Gasol started.
Isn't he or maybe he was a power forward back in the day, and now he's an old.
I don't know.
So,
But yeah, in terms of just the matchup here, there's not really much to talk about. I think the Raptors are going to demolish the Nets.
Yeah, I agree. It was fun to watch them try and pull back. I think LeVert's a really good player. I think
Yeah,
he's going to
he's
be a
nice.
great third piece if Kyrie doesn't try and get him traded because they need someone else apparently. But this is a Nets team to look forward to next year in the East. They're definitely going to be top
for
team
sure.
in the conference. And I don't think they need to maybe one guy. I don't think they need to make any big moves.
Yeah, just round out the roster. But
Yeah, I mean, they have a nice
They're
third
all
piece
set up.
with LeVert. They have a great, sixth man of the year candidate in Dinwiddie, a great shooter in Joe Harris. They have other guys here and there. I think Jared Allen is coming into his own. He's been getting doubles left and right.
Yeah, he's solid.
And they have DeAndre Jordan's not there, but he might be the starter next year, so they have him. I think you add Kyrie and Durant to this team, and you're championship contender right there. But
Right.
they're not going to win a game in this series.
No.
Yes.
That's probably the most open and shut series of
And Bucks Magic.
but
Shouldn't even play that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to spend too much time on it. If you guys want to,
I don't think.
Yeah,
I
we
don't think
can
we
move
can.
Yeah,
There's really not much to
more
say.
So the next game was the Celtics and the 76ers, which I think could have been an awesome series, and it was a competitive game. But like I said in the beginning, the 76ers would kind of pull close, and then the Celtics would add to the lead, and it was kind of like one of those games where you think, oh, maybe this is where they tie it up, and then
Well, the
Celtics
Sixers
hit a
were
big
leading
shot.
after 3.
Yeah.
I'm talking about at the end of the game.
I still
yeah,
think it's
but-
going to be a good series. I think the Celtics are going to end up winning, but Sixers are a pretty deep team. They have a bunch of guys who are contributing tonight. Embiid, obviously, probably the best player on both of those teams. If he can, give it his 100% for all 4 quarters of every game, I think it could be competitive, but I just don't think Embiid is going to be able to carry that much of the
Yeah.
load.
They're definitely missing Simmons a lot,
Yeah.
and
yeah, it sucks.
Embiid,
man.
he is probably the most talented player on the floor, but I think I'd rather have Tatum on my team in the sense that it's hard for a big man to really take over a game like that. He's not he can't really play from the outside. Maybe he can hit open threes, he can hit open jumpers, but he can't create in the same way that a wing player can when a wing player is your best player.
Yeah. He plays a lot worse when he's shooting.
Yeah, and I think you see it all the time with dominant big men when they're really the focal point and trying to take over. People just crowd the paint and everyone's going at them. They're trying to post up. You got guys coming in and swiping at the ball, and you can't do that with a guy who plays face up from the 3-point line and make a move. So I'd like to see him take over the series, but I just don't know. And me and Alex were talking about it before you got here. It just it looks like he doesn't care sometimes, and I know that's been a thing with him forever. But you hate to see it at this point. People have been talking about it for so long.
Yeah.
Step up.
I don't know if he doesn't care. I think he just doesn't have the endurance to be able to
He's
do
got to
it.
get himself into better shape.
Yeah.
That's
He
where
always
the care
looks like
part
he's
comes
tired
into
at the
it.
end of games.
Get your body right, get ready, and then when a guy like Simmons goes down, rather than just saying I'm not saying that he said this obviously, but you don't know you just see from his mindset if Simmons goes
Body
down, rather
language.
than just saying that all right, like the Sixers are probably done. Like we're not going to do anything this year. He should be, all right, guys, get on my fucking back. Like we're taking this. Like I'm going to be the superstar now. I have to step up and start taking over games. I get that it's a little difficult being a big man, but he definitely has the tools in his arsenal to take over games. We've seen it before. He goes for 40, like high 30s, 40 and 20. Like he's done that before, and he's probably good for that. Maybe 1 or 2 games in this series, but like you said, Alex, he doesn't do it over 4 quarters for a full series or an extended period of time during the regular season.
Yep.
So I don't know where that comes from with him, but it's going to be tough without Ben Simmons. He's really the motor of that team.
Yeah. A lot of pressure on Tobias Harris.
Yeah, if he could step up.
People like to put all the blame on Embiid, and rightfully so at times, but Tobias Harris is an all-star.
He's a max contract.
Yeah, he's on a max contract. They gave up a lot to get Tobias Harris on the team.
He had 15 points today. Like you need to score more.
Yeah, you need to be better
than that.
It's well below his average, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you were saying about, Embiid getting into better shape. And I know this was like a year or 2 ago, but remember there was a game, he was just eating a cheeseburger like 30 minutes before the game. Like he just seems like he doesn't take the, the work ethic and treating your body right part of the being a professional seriously, and that's always going to hold him back until he stops being,
Yeah.
He's still immature.
And
He's
then
still a goofball.
it's a good life lesson. Like as you get older, you're like all that like cliche shit that they taught us like when we were young, like doesn't really matter, and then like everybody who's like great does like follows all the rules and like doesn't pull shit like that.
Right.
So it's like you can't just roll your eyes at everything and do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, it seems like it's he has that lackadaisical, lazy mindset and like question if he cares. But then also last year he's crying after the game when they get knocked out, and you think, all right, maybe he does care. Like where does that come from? If you're just gonna hysterically cry when you lose, but you're gonna eat cheeseburgers on the sideline, like what is it?
He's an interesting guy.
I don't think that he's passionate about the game and he wants to win. It just doesn't seem like he understands all that goes into being like one of the greats. Like he's very talented and he plays well, but he could be better, which is crazy because he's already so good. He just doesn't. I guess he doesn't think he needs to do all that extra stuff. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but enough
or
about
he doesn't
Embiid.
want to. He wants the glory and all the success and everything, and doesn't put in like the serious work that needs to be done. Because he got obviously very far to where he is now because he's just a freak sized like guy. He has a lot of
start playing basketball until he was on the older side.
Yeah, like late teens. So I guess maybe he's still learning things and still putting it together. But and listen, it's been one game. They lost a close game, so it's not kill him right now because he could very well come out and score 40 in the next game, and they even the series.
Of course,
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, but I think it's still. I'm not so high on the Celtics. I feel like everyone else thinks that they're like a real threat in the East, and they're good, but they're missing. I think they're missing something.
They kind of remind me of the Nuggets a little bit. Like they're well balanced, young. Like they have guys all over that can give you something. You got Tatum, who went off today. I think he scored 30 or 29 or something. Jaylen Brown had 30 or 20 something. They were both like very similar in stats. Kemba didn't play well, but he can give you 20 points a game if he's on.
Hayward got hurt tonight.
Yeah, Hayward. He left the stadium in crutches, they said, so he'll probably be out a few games.
Tatum is very good, and he does have games where he'll have a very off shooting night, and like he's not. How bad does the NBA and ESPN and all these fucking people, they want him to be a superstar so fucking badly?
Because he does.
All you hear is Tatum this, Tatum that. He's amazing. He's leading the Celtics.
He talks a lot for a guy who's like, he's obviously great.
Yeah, but it's just like, let's relax. Like, he's not the best player in the East. Like,
they're really pushing the
They want it so bad.
Yeah.
Let it happen naturally, like it does for every other player.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of when guys are like running their mouths before they really like accomplish much in the league.
Shots at Baker.
Yeah. Perfect example. But yeah, I think Tatum's good. I think he's very good. He's obviously all-star caliber player, but
he can take over.
I have the same concerns as you do about the Celtics. They just don't seem like they have the same firepower as other teams. as they don't seem like they have the same firepower as the Bucks, and they don't seem like they have the same like pedigree as the Raptors do. So I think those two teams are like those are the teams to beat for sure in the East.
I think in regards to this series, I think they're a better coach team than the 76ers, and I think they're the better team right now with Simmons out. I think they win this series. I think it'll be close. I say Celtics in 6.
I think that's a good. I agree with you there.
I'll say Celtics in 7.
All right.
You could go 7 and then.
With Simmons was playing for the 76ers, I would probably take them.
Yeah, I think that they would have won the series too. But
that would have been a 6 series.
It's such a shame, man.
It's such a shame.
The season was put on hold, and he got healthy. He was out before the season stopped. He had a back injury. He comes back. The Sixers look ready to go. They're finally everyone's healthy, put back together, and then in one of these meaningless 8 regular season games, he's out for the year now.
Yep.
And yeah, that sucks. They definitely could have thrown something at the Bucks or the Raptors, give them a run for their money, but there's always next year, as they say. Yep. So, I guess you guys want to move on to the game we're currently laying our eyes on?
Yeah.
This has been a pretty a roller coaster of a game so far. Like we said in the beginning, it was 18-2 Clippers to start. Then the Mavericks brought it back, and then they were just up like 50-36. Now it's 50-45, 52-45 now. But this is going to be an interesting series. I still think the Clippers are the much better team, but Doncic and Porzingis have been playing great in the bubble so far. I mean, we know Doncic is amazing, but Porzingis has really stepped up and been that number 2 that they really needed him to be.
Yep.
He's still a slowpoke in the 4th, but that happens with guys. But yeah, it's been a great game so far. What do you guys think of this series?
This is a very interesting matchup. The Mavericks, they are a good team. I'm a little surprised that they slipped to 7. I guess it just goes to show how stacked the West is. But, yeah, I mean, when you have a guy like Doncic, who I think is one of the best players in the league, obviously, just based on what he's been able to do this season, and especially, like you said, in the bubble, he looks incredible. He's a triple-double machine. He has 15, 5, and 5 right now. But, yeah, dude, the Mavericks are not going to be an easy opponent for the Clippers here, especially for the Clippers team who really, we've been saying it all year, they haven't played together much when they're fully healthy. So I think that might be an issue for them. But I don't know. I mean, I can see this one going 6-7 games, honestly. I think that at the end the Clippers will take it out, but the Mavericks are no joke.
I think Porzingis is really going to be huge for them in this series, the Mavericks, because I mean, I don't know who they're throwing on him right now, but I don't think the Clippers really, you're not going to have Zubats play him out on the three-point line. I don't think Morris can really do anything for him. He's too short. And maybe if you throw Kawhi or Paul George at him, but then I don't know. I just think he'll be
one of them would have to guard him.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how they're matching up right now. We'll take a look because they're all on the floor right now, so we'll see. But, I mean,
yeah,
it's definitely it's an interesting matchup for sure because
it's definitely an interesting matchup, and I don't want to the Mavericks have been playing so well, as you guys said. They're playing well tonight, which is making me think this might be more interesting than I thought, before tip. But I'm going to stick to my guns, what I was thinking before this. I think the Mavericks maybe take one game. The Clippers are just too deep. They're too athletic. They have everything that you want out of a team. They're still the Clippers. They haven't played much together yet, but maybe they need this game 1 where they drop a game and then they really click into focus. Kawhi's not going to be rattled. He's just going to keep going out there and playing like the robot that he is, and he's going to play great because he always does in the playoffs. And I think the Clippers win this series in 5.
Yeah, I feel like it always happens a lot in the first round. The lesser seed takes game 1, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, they're gonna upset them," and then 4 in a row.
Yeah, and then you don't even watch. You miss game 2 and 3, and you're like, didn't happen.
Yeah,
Luka is something else though, man. He is they're gonna be in every game.
Porzingis in the bubble has been not as good as Doncic, because Doncic has the the triple doubles, the assists, the rebounds, and all that shit.
And
But Porzingis has just been scoring like a beast.
Just now and this is one thing that the Clippers aren't going to have that they always have during the regular season, and it just happened right now. Lou Will always tries to do his little weird lean in, draw contact, and every time it comes to the playoffs, he never gets the calls, and he just tried to do it just now, and I saw him go and complain to the refs. So you always get a different Lou Will in the playoffs, but I agree. I mean, I was just saying I don't think the Clippers have an answer for a guy like Porzingis, but the Mavericks definitely don't have an answer for a Kawhi Leonard or a Paul George.
No.
Or
Luka's not a very good defender at all.
No.
So those guys
Neither
are
is
definitely gonna
Porzingis.
score like 30 a
He's
game.
a good rim protector, but he's not a good
On-ball defender.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I think the games will be interesting, and I think,
It's
we'll
a cool matchup.
Doncic play well and Porzingis play well, but I
Yeah.
bet the Clippers will end up, taking the series pretty easy.
Even if a series ends up being 4-1, it could that's a lot of those series are entertaining just to see the guys the superstars go head to head.
Exactly. All right. Well, we'll see. I don't know if the game will be over by the time we're done. We'll see. Maybe we can give a little comment.
Definitely, it's the first
You
half.
never know it. We go pretty long when we're talking.
It's another hour and a half.
So, do you know the schedule for tomorrow?
Yeah, I got it right here. We go to.
What's the first game
I
for
see.
tomorrow, Brodsky?
All right, so starting tomorrow, 4 more games. The other 4 series, we have big Bucks Magic game at 1:30.
All right, I'm gonna do a deep dive on that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Let's really break down this series here. It should be a good one.
Yeah, I like the way the Magic's their spacing is good.
I can't name more than 3 players on the team:
Vucevic.
Fournier and Gordon.
Yeah, they're
Who else?
going
Didn't
to get
know they were on the
absolutely
team.
destroyed.
Who you didn't know Aaron Gordon was on the team?
Oh, Aaron Gordon. I was thinking of Eric Gordon. I
Don't
was
they
like,
have
he's on the
what's
Magic?
his name?
Jonathan Isaac's out for the
He's
year.
out for the year. No, they drafted someone, a center.
Mo Bamba.
Mo Bamba.
I don't know how good he is, but yeah, obviously this series is going to be a sweep, 5 games maybe. The Bucks, have bigger goals ahead of them after a disappointing end to their season last year.
And this year. Well, end to the regular season.
What happened?
Oh,
They were just
Sorry.
bad in the bubble.
Oh yeah, they were. I mean, but
it
you
seemed
can't
like
take away. I don't take anything out
Giannis
of
was
that.
headbutting guys.
a lot of the top teams
He didn't play in the second
well
half
in the
a
bubble.
lot because they had
They
nothing to
don't-
play
yeah,
for.
exactly.
I mean, it's preseason. It was preseason games.
Yep.
All right, I got my eye on Giannis. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Magic in 7. What?
So they win. They would play the Heat in the second round, which is actually an interesting matchup. And we can just jump right into that. That one, I think, the next game after that one is
Good segue.
is Heat Pacers, which we've gotten plenty of Heat Pacers in the bubble. I think 3 games, definitely at least 2 games that they had played against each other.
They were 2 of the last 3 games against each other.
and now full series.
Yeah.
We were talking about before. The Pacers don't have Sabonis, right? And he's
But they
very
have Jesus.
Oh my God,
Who?
are we done with that yet?
good. Oh,
TJ
TJ
Warren?
Warren.
We're done with that.
He's done. He's not good. He had his little hot
You know
streak
what
and
he is.
fell back. Ooh.
Solid player. He was good before.
He'll give you 20 points a game.
But what else is he?
I was seeing him drop 60.
Oh, He
He's
fell
always.
back
I
down
was
to
definitely
earth.
surprised when the Suns didn't hold on to him because I thought they had a nice young core. He fit in next to Booker because he's a small forward, right?
Yeah.
They had Booker. They would have him, Booker, Ayton. Would have been a nice young trio they have there, but
Little rivalry between him and Butler.
yeah, but Butler sunned him in the last one. So we'll see
yeah,
what
I mean,
happens
come
there.
on.
Yeah,
Butler's
he's
so
gonna
much
Bang
better.
that up.
Butler, what?
Butler's so much better than him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'll just
Yeah,
lock
no,
him.
he's significantly better.
I think it'll be an interesting series.
Wow, he scored 53.
Yeah.
he dropped 40 on.
I
the
don't think
Lakers,
either
right?
of these teams are
39, yeah.
I don't think either of these teams are that good.
I
so
like Miami a lot.
I can tell from the way you're acting here.
Yeah, I
Well-
think that they're a good team. I think that they're gonna beat the Pacers in 5 games. They just got so many guys. They're another team similar to you said with the Nuggets. They're just deep. Anybody can come in and light it up. Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson are snipers from 3-point range.
You just found out who Duncan Robinson
That's not
is
true.
today.
You found out who Duncan
He was
Robinson
the
Yeah,
one
I did.
saying he was good. when
Duncan
someone pointed
Robinson-
him
By
out.
Man
you, I
cave.
meant I.
No, he's good. He was in the 3-point contest. I think they both were in the 3-point contest. Tyler Hero.
Wow.
They
They're
They
good.
don't
and
have their
Bam
big-
Adebayo,
their
dude.
biggest
Bam is
advantage,
nasty.
was they were unreal at home
Yeah.
court. They would not lose at
But
home.
without Sabonis, Adebayo is gonna feast down low.
No, I think the Heat are going to win. I think they're a better team. And
Goran Dragic still doing it.
I think Butler's going to take the Warren matchup personally. And really, I mean,
Yeah, Butler's that kind of guy. He loves
Yeah.
he loves that fire.
oh,
Gets him motivated, and he's
I'll
a
say-
he's a fucking he steps up in big games.
He
Like,
does.
He really knows how to
does.
get the wins.
The Heat are definitely the better team. I'll say Heat in 7.
in 7?
7.
I say Heat in 6.
Who on the Pacers is keeping them in these games? Oladipo sucks now.
They're just always there giving people a
Called
fight.
that a foul? Look at this. Sorry. They did it before the
I don't know.
Porzingis thing.
I think I'm
Little scrappy
definitely
team.
I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but if the Heat and the Bucks match up in the next round,
Sweep.
Giannis better be in trouble. But Giannis better be ready, 'cause he might be in some trouble.
I don't know about that, man.
No.
They're not that good.
They are really good. I'm convincing myself now as I'm saying it. They're really good.
That would be-
Those guys are solid. Like
Warren.
they're solid guys. They're nothing special. Like you're talking about Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson like they're the role players on the Nuggets.
Why not?
It's not apples to apples there.
Who are the role players on the Nuggets?
Like
Porter
Paul
Jr.
Millsap, Michael Porter Jr. is dropping like 30 a game. Paul Millsap's a former All-Star.
Paul Millsap he's basically dead on the court now. He's not Paul Millsap.
He doesn't
anymore.
play like he used to. They were talking about it today that they like barely use him in the post.
Yeah,
which is his
he's
strength,
just
but
a name on the team.
yeah.
He's good.
He's
Tyler
fine.
Hero averages 13.5 a game.
Nice. They're just role players on like an average Eastern Conference team.
But when they get hot, in the 3-point shooting, they light up.
I'll
the
give you
gym.
Bam. Bam is nasty.
Bam's a stud. He was an All-Star this year.
Yeah, Millsap.
I think that they're just a deep team.
Are they deep?
I mean, they're not.
Who's
like,
their
they're
seventh
not
man?
top heavy. There's a reason. Like they're good, but Butler's
Iguodala,
like a.
Derek Jones,
They have Iguodala.
Myers Leonard,
Yeah, Derek
Jay
Jones got
Crowder,
carted off,
Kendrick
though.
Nunn, filthy.
Derek Jones isn't he done? He got carted.
Oh
off.
yeah, he was
Kendrick
Kelly
Nunn,
Olynyk.
filthy.
Kelly Olynyk, Jay Crowder, Iguodala,
Don't ever say
Alright.
Kelly
Dragic.
Olynyk.
These are fucking guys, man.
No,
They're
I
s-
agree that
yeah,
they're-
they're solid.
Udonis Haslam is still on the team.
I cannot believe
He
that.
doesn't play at all, but he's still
No,
on
he's
the team.
not.
He's
He
still
is.
on the team.
Don't they want like the roster spot for someone else? Like someone else could
Dude,
probably.
I cannot believe they still have him on the team.
He scores 3 points a game,
He
doesn't
plays?
play.
11 minutes a game.
That means
many
that
games
means
has
he
he
doesn't
played?
play.
He doesn't suit up a lot at all. He's played in 4 games this season.
Just
But
wasting their time.
veteran playoff experience.
Come on.
Mm.
Okay, I might be over exaggerating the Heat a little bit, but I
No,
don't.
they're
I'm
better than
down
the
on the
team.
Pacers. I'm down on the Pacers.
They're better than
Oladipo
the
has been
Pacers.
Terrible for ever since he's came back. He's done nothing.
I mean, it's a shame because he was playing. He had a really.
Don't
bad
they have Paul
injury.
George? Idiots.
And Frank Vogel's the coach. All right, let's move on before Matt
So you're both-
has a wet dream about the
Are we all taking the Heat?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
taking the Heat. No.
Alex can't handle the Heat.
I'm packing heat.
Next, my favorite series of the playoffs, Heat Pacers. That's coming up. No, Thunder Rockets, which is
That's gonna
a fun series.
how many games is Westbrook expected to miss?
It just said like early part of the series, maybe 1 game, maybe 2.
Quad though, with his play style,
He's definitely out game 1. Aside from that,
He'll
he's
tear it.
game to game. He'll tear it.
at half, what a matchup.
Yeah,
These games without Westbrook, if he misses 2-3 games, the Thunder have to capitalize. Obviously,
for sure.
I think it's going to give them a great opportunity to stay in these
Thunder
games.
have surprised everybody all year. I'm not a Chris Paul fan, but he shows up and he
great.
knows how to navigate a team and get everyone in the right spot. And they're a well-rounded team. They have Shai Gilgeous, Matt's boy.
King.
He's nice.
Yeah, if they're not gonna have Westbrook for if it's one, maybe two, like that's big. I think.
Yeah.
I think the Thunder. Obviously Harden makes it really hard to say this.
It's
but
playoff Harden.
I think
though.
the Thunder seem like a better overall team than the Rockets without Westbrook.
I think that's valid.
Yeah.
It's just like Harden's so good that it's kind of hard to
Playoff
kinda
Harden
wanna
is
lean
not
that
the
way.
same.
I mean, we'll see, but
Playoff
it's first
Harden.
round Harden though, so he might still be.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
not that scared yet.
this isn't.
And he's in the bubble. There's no one. There's
That's true.
no one getting in his head.
Shooters will get hot in the bubble.
I still like.
That's what it's like every time like someone goes off because like in the beginning of the bubble like players were like shooters gonna get hot, man. There's no fans, like so every time like some random guy goes off, people are like shooters will get hot in the bubble.
I mean,
So this is a tough one to predict.
Harden's gonna get his points, but
They
Chris
just don't-
Paul's a closer, man.
they have
he's good.
They literally were just like we are not playing with a center. Like we just don't have
Crazy.
one.
If they make it past the Thunder, they're gonna get demolished by the Lakers.
Yeah, I hope so.
Who's gonna guard Anthony Davis? He's just gonna score 40 points a game.
I don't know. Last time PJ Tucker was getting him in the hip.
All right, so we'll stand out by the perimeter and just rain over his short head.
Yeah, no. Obviously, I think Davis will handle him, but that's for a podcast 2 weeks from now when the first round's over. But who do you think is going to win this series?
I gotta go with the Rockets.
Jalen Hurd tore his ACL.
Yep, I saw that.
I
didn't even want to send it to you. I was like, I also was wrong. Actually, because I saw he played at Tennessee, but I think he might have transferred. Because remember I said he went to Baylor?
Yeah.
All right, so screw the NBA playoffs. Jalen Hurd is no. What were you saying, Alex?
I don't see the Thunder being able to keep up with Harden. He's gonna score like 40 points a game. Nobody's gonna be able to guard him. And Westbrook will be back.
Do they have Gordon? Isn't he hurt, or was that for like a game?
I'm not sure.
I don't know, but it's really a one-man show without Westbrook.
Yeah, that's
there.
what I'm. Because
That's-
who's going to replace those
You
points?
saw
That's why I'm
PJ
asking about
Tucker
Gordon.
showed up twice on the shot chart, both corners.
That's isn't he
That was
known the
surprising.
greatest
Yes,
corner
sharpshooter.
shooter ever? No, someone else was in the other corner.
Danuel House.
No, he was in both corners.
He was. Who am
He
I
was like
thinking?
in the real corner.
Oh,
And
okay,
There
okay.
was like somebody else there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rockets in 7.
Yeah, Gordon is healthy. Eric Gordon is playing. Says he's replacing Westbrook in the starting lineup.
Who's gonna be the guy to take over down the stretch for the Thunder?
Chris Paul. Chris Paul
Score
creates
points?
shots. Yeah, man, he
Yeah,
can
he
get
does.
out. He can
He's
still.
good in the playoffs. Remember against the Warriors when they would have beat the Warriors in that series if
He got
Chris Paul
hurt.
didn't
Yeah,
get hurt.
he got hurt, and he left Harden alone, and
Yep.
Harden cried.
I don't know, man. They don't have a Harden.
Oh, the Thunder don't have a Harden.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Westbrook will be back. He's gonna miss a couple games and he's gonna play and they were playing great. Like they were finally figuring it out how to make it work with Westbrook. He wasn't taking as many threes. If he can just put his head down and keep doing that instead of like chucking up shots and bricking all of them.
Yeah. Well, oh, hold on.
Dom Smith a player now?
Yeah. See, at a game today again.
Really? Does he play the outfield?
Plays everything. Does whatever the team wants. He's 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Cano has 2 homers.
Back where we left off.
So does Alonso. Wow. Cano's batting .412.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus. Good for him.
It's a shame we suck at pitching.
So you were saying Westbrook continue playing the way he's playing.
Yeah, because like I was saying, he stopped taking so many threes, and like that's his game. He's not a good shooter, so
Yeah, and it's the Rock. That's their entire offense. Is everybody chuck threes. When
right.
the Lakers played them in the bubble a few games ago, first half they shot 29 threes.
Yeah, they take
Like
more
and
threes
the
than
Lakers shot
twos.
5. It's crazy. So it's kind of a nice balance while everyone's spread out chucking threes. You have Westbrook slicing and dicing through the
Yeah,
middle.
he's like a gravitational force, and he pulls all the defenders in, kicks it out for the 3-pointers.
I don't know. I'm just concerned about his injury just because of how he plays. Like, he's so explosive, and I mean, we'll see what happens. Say he's out for the first 2 games, and the Thunder take both, and then you rush Westbrook back because, oh shit, we're down, and then he aggravates it even more. I mean, you can't expect that to happen, but it's.
He's gotten hurt in the past a couple times though, and he seems to always come back with the same kind of intensity and explosiveness. So I mean, maybe it's more fresher, and you definitely don't want to rush him back, but I don't know. He seems to have some very quick recoveries with these injuries.
Yeah, I mean, he's a freak athlete. So
Yeah.
but I want to take the Thunder, honestly. I want to take the Thunder in 7.
Billy Donovan won Coach of the Year for the Thunder.
I
this
mean, when
year.
you have a
Yeah.
0.2% chance to make the playoffs, and then you're the 5 seed,
Yeah.
it's pretty.
And they got back the key, Roberson. Didn't Paul George
What was
say
the deal with that?
He
he
broke
tore his
his
patellar
leg.
tendon, and like
And then he came
it's
back.
like the worst thing you can do. Yeah.
Oh, really?
But remember when Paul George re-signed or something, they were like, he thinks that losing Roberson in the playoffs was a huge blow or something. It's like, no, it wasn't. It would have been fine.
People love him for some reason.
And he's.
Yeah.
How are you in the NBA and you cannot even touch the rim on free throws?
Is Matt terrified of making a pick?
I know the Rockets are gonna win. I mean, let's be realistic. The Thunder, they're a nice story, but I don't think that they have the star power to compete with the Rockets on offense. Westbrook's gonna come back, and I think that they're gonna, they'll be fine. Thunder,
Agreed.
Rockets in 5.
Nah. Nope. Don't see it. No shot.
Hope
All
I'm
right.
wrong.
You give up
I
on
like that
Shai
Thunder.
Gilgeous
I
like that?
hope I'm wrong. I mean, what is even? Nobody talks about him.
Who?
Shai Gilgeous Alexander.
He's
Didn't we
nasty.
have a whole argument about this?
We talk about him a lot.
There was something
I know.
What was it? You were saying that someone is like in the All-Star game or something. It was something like that. Like someone gets more attention than him. And I was like, they're literally on. Oh, was it Caruso?
Caruso. That was me.
It was, yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what it was. Like Shaq. I was like, but he's on the Thunder. Like, that's why. You're
But he's-
right. Like, he's obviously much better than Caruso, but
Caruso's
Lakers have
literally
the
a
biggest
meme.
fan base in the league. So
That doesn't
But
mean
there are
that
plenty
doesn't
of
mean
players in small
ESPN
markets.
needs to
But
talk
that
about
is-
fucking Caruso.
Yeah, he's a meme.
He's
that's
a meme.
why because they're not real.
Talk about
analysis.
sports.
You got to watch a like a private.
Notice
like a
we
YouTuber
didn't
talks
talk about Caruso at all.
No.
until the next segment. That's all we're gonna talk about.
No, but I mean, there's plenty of players in small markets that get plenty of attention nationally.
Like who?
Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray. They get plenty
They're
of time.
significantly better than Donovan Mitchell.
But
is.
I mean, but Mitchell is right now. But when he was coming up, and because he's not
But-
Gilgeous is not like a flashy dunker kind of guy. He's
That's
just like
why
a
he's like
traditional point
not
guard.
that flashy of a player. He's on a team
Not as
that
marketable.
No one really watches. Yeah, exactly. Mitchell also like
His name is also ridiculously long.
Yeah.
SGA.
Mitchell
It's a nick. They
came
could see
onto
that
the
all over the
scene like
place.
so quick as a rookie, and then you had people, pushing the whole, the Knicks passed up on him. Look at him.
Stop. Why
that
he's
was
popular.
not a thing.
That's
Dude,
not why he's popular.
Around here, they're talking about
He
it
was
all.
just-
That's
he
not
was
why
just
I'm
immediately
saying,
very good.
that was the first thing I said. He came onto the scene so quickly, and then another reason. You have
He's a
Knicks
slow
fans
burner.
complaining about it. Like
Give him
Shai
time.
Gilgeous, he hasn't always been. What did you average? 19 a game?
20-something, right?
20 something? You said?
19 and 6.
Yeah, like he's not. He's good. He's just not. He's not better than Caruso.
He's a slow burner.
Wow, this is only his second season?
Yeah.
Really? Sucks.
He's nice.
Okay. All right, so maybe he'll have his little coming out party.
We
in
were
the
definitely
series.
on his train before anyone. I'll give you that.
Yes. Thank you. I will
Take it
stay
back.
on it. This is it's time that SGA
When they
gets
lose in
some
5?
national attention. Yeah, when they lose in 5. Yeah. I feel dirty for picking that, but I just like the Rockets.
You don't believe it.
I feel like the Rockets they should win easily. It's one of those where it's like I think I'm not gonna be crazy because I like the Thunder and be like they're gonna win just to have the Rockets dominate, which is expected.
So you're a coward.
I've done that way too many times. I'm learning my lesson here. Okay, I'm trying to not be biased in my
alright.
thoughts.
So let's move on to
Portland
this-
in 6. Not being biased. That's it for the games. I think actually we can wrap it up.
All right. We'll see everyone next time.
Yep. When the Lakers are
Got
NBA
nothing else to
champions.
say. All right,
All
the
right.
last game of the fucking week is the Lakers and the Trailblazers at 9:00 tomorrow night.
Richard's been edging for the last hour and a half.
Oh yeah, baby. I've been waiting because I don't know.
You
This
can
seems
let it
like
out.
Interesting series that everyone thinks maybe could go the other way, even though it won't.
Everyone thinks that?
Not
Who
everyone.
thinks
This is
that?
the underdog mentality that
I
he
didn't mean to
thinks
say
everyone.
everyone.
everyone
There's a lot of
against the
people.
Lakers.
There's a lot of people that are high on the Blazers right now because of how they've been playing.
Everyone thinks it might go the other way.
You should see what everyone said.
Yeah, what in the Trailblazers subreddit? Is that where
No,
you've
I
been
have a
hanging
friend.
out?
His name is everyone.
No, he's been searching Damian Lillard on Twitter.
Yeah, you
No,
look, you
I don't-
seek
I
out
never
the things
searched
to get
Damian Lillard
angry at.
once.
You find your own
Sam Darnold on
bulletin
Twitter.
board material
You and
from like a
Kornfeld.
fucking egg on Twitter. who has
No,
2
he's
followers.
much worse than I am. Don't compare me to him. He literally said Steph's not top 5.
We don't need to talk about that. So what happened with the sayings on the? Now you can put anything on there because I just saw something that wasn't English.
I think you could put it in one of their phrases in a different language.
Oh,
Yeah, Doncic and Nurkic have like Croatian or
Oh.
native. Well, I don't think Nurkic is not Croatian.
All right, let's talk about the
Slovenian?
series.
Slovakian.
I don't know what
German?
it is.
We'll
So
find out.
the Blazers obviously have been stellar in the bubble. Damian Lillard, MVP of the bubble officially. Melo's been playing well. McCollum, they've had some great
Bosnia.
games. What?
Nurkic is from Bosnia.
Nice.
Do you know that?
So
no.
they end up taking the 8th seed. They beat the Grizzlies in the play-in game. Took them 1 game. Now, what do you guys think?
I think it's going to be a sweep.
You really like the Blazers that much? That's what I'm saying, everyone.
The thing with the Blazers is, I mean, while as exciting as Lillard has been to watch, and Nurkic can go for 30 and 10, 30 and 20 sometimes, even though he does have a couple games where he does nothing. They're exciting to watch, and everybody's on the hype with what Lillard's been doing with the 60-point game, 50-point game. They must be one of the worst defensive teams in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
They really just they can't stop anyone. We saw when they absolutely had to beat the Nets, and they gave up 133 points to a Nets team that, I mean,
Has
we
nobody.
spoke about them. We spoke about them already. So that's obviously concerning when you're going up against LeBron and Anthony Davis. But I will say, nice pass there.
What was that?
I will say, the Lakers are a 2-man team. I don't care what you like to tell me about Danny Green and Caruso. They're a 2-man team.
Caruso.
So
they have
if
a lot better players than Caruso.
They really don't.
KCP.
Yeah, exactly. KCP and Danny Green. Those are the X factors. Those are their other guys.
Dwight Howard's been
Dwight
playing
Howard,
well.
They have the other Morris. He's been playing pretty well for them.
I know they have a 15-man roster, but they're a 2-man team.
They definitely
No,
they're
are.
very
they're
top.
definitely
They're very
missing.
top-heavy. They're not like the Clippers.
They're
They don't
definitely
have a
missing
Lou Will.
Bradley.
Kuzma's been
Kuzma.
playing great.
Yeah, Kuzma has been playing great. They would have been nice to have Bradley.
Whatever. They're
No,
not.
it would've-
The
he's-
Trailblazers
he
will
was a good
not be
piece,
able to stop Davis and LeBron at all. I mean, Lillard is going to get his points for sure, but at the end of the day, like, they don't have an answer for those
Yeah.
guys, unless Nurkic really plays out of his mind.
Yeah, I think.
But for that reason, I'm going to have to go with Portland in 5.
I think the whole year the Lakers have been one of the top defensive teams, and they've struggled a bit in the bubble. And we were just talking about this before. Same thing with the Bucks. Teams that they both were locked into the first seed, and a lot of the higher seeds that really had nothing to play for. You saw them struggle a little bit, experiment. But I think now playoff starting, we've seen playoff LeBron. We know what that is. Davis, last time he played Portland in the playoffs, absolutely dominated them. And I think you're going to see them turn up the defense, something that the Trailblazers just can't do, as you just touched on. And I don't know. I'll say Lakers in 5. I won't give them a sweep just because I think you might have Lillard and McCollum have one of those nights where you just can't keep up with the 3-point barrage. But they just don't really, like you said, they don't have an answer for LeBron and AD.
I'll go
They're too
Lakers
big.
in 6, my actual prediction.
So I'll say Lakers in 4. I get the Lillard hype. He's hands down the most fun player to watch, like in the NBA right now.
He's
But
unguardable.
the Blazers just aren't that good. And I'm a fan of Nurkic as well, but it's kind of
Yeah, no,
That's
Watch out
kinda
for
it.
Hassan Whiteside.
I mean, didn't even talk
he
about.
might have a say.
Whoa! Fight!
Whiteside's going to have a say.
Porzingis is about to throw hands with Morris.
look at those giant men.
They're all so tall. What'd you say, Matt?
I said Whiteside's going to have a say in this series.
He's
He's gonna have
He's
something.
such a
I
disappointment.
was actually
He's gonna
like
make an impact.
I was
He's had
on
a
the
good year.
Trailblazer subreddit, and I saw them saying they don't like him in this match. Like they don't like Whiteside in this matchup.
not that good.
He also like Davis plays more on the perimeter. You want Whiteside at the rim. So if he's going to be guarding Davis, not a good matchup. We'll see. I mean, it's definitely not. I did not want them to play the Blazers. I wanted the Grizzlies or the Suns because you don't want to go against superstar Damian Lillard. But I just think the Lakers are the much better team.
Colin Cowherd
Fine.
said that this is the best 8 seed in NBA history.
Yeah, and they'll stay that way when they lose.
The Knicks went to the finals as an 8 seed.
Really?
94.
They were the 8 seed?
Yeah, it was a
Who
lockout
the-
shortened
who
season.
didn't the Grizzlies beat the 1 seed Spurs like
Yep.
5 years ago?
Yes,
Yeah.
they did.
Sounds like they're the best.
Well, the Portland hasn't played yet, so let's see if they beat the 1 seed Lakers.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm excited. And Cornfeld was telling me the game's at 6, and I worked till 8, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna miss like the whole fucking game. But they were playing at 9. All right, let's wrap it up, pack it up, put it away, as our technology teacher would say in middle school.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for
It
tuning in.
was nice to have you guys
Hopefully-
back.
Yes, it was. Hopefully we figure out this camera situation because it's getting me real mad. You can see in my face how mad I am. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.